Hey, we forgot to tell. Hey, we're recording. Check it. It's all good. We are back. Oh yes, we're live. Welcome back to the Diaspora on Africa. Do Africa.
On Africa. Do Africa. So you're going to hear a lot of African sounds in the background. And that's just how it is. It's
a lot of children.
It's a lot of children. It's poetry in motion in all sense of the word.
100%. And let us introduce ourselves.
Well, I'm Dinta Rayay.
And I'm Saqar, Ahhah, Ahershu. Welcome back. We want to say thank you for everybody who's been checking in on our page and watching some of the videos.
Yes,
and
thank you.
So this particular video, we wanted to talk about surviving elections in Liberia.
West Africa.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah, man. And like, so first of all, it's not what they try to make it up to be, man. You know, so we out here, a lot of times, obviously, you see the news, I guess like they always showing that elections, but yo, it's the same thing that goes on in America, especially with Trump. Yes or no? Because Trump rallies?
Yeah.
Trump rallies was Trump, you are way more in danger, you know what I'm talking about?
At a Trump rally.
Than you are being in Liberia during elections.
Yes. What I want to say is I want to commend the people on conducting this election with non-violence. Like, being here, you would think of, the fact that there's coups taking place in Africa, and there's, a lot of social unrest. Like social unrest did take place in Sierra Leone, which is a neighboring country.
Yeah, but how much though?
I mean, what I want to say again, I want to commend the people of Liberia of conducting their election with no violence, and that's is very commendable, because it gives you a sense of relief for a tourist. It gives you a sense of relief for a foreigner that want to come to Liberia. So I definitely want to commend the people for that.
Definitely. Businesses as usual. Now, obviously, if you're trying to do something with the government,
right.
Like if you're trying to do like if you got a PPP going, a private public partnership or something like that.
Right.
You might need a minister's signature. Right. Come on. That right now will probably be something that would, put your situation on pause. But business wise, but everybody else, the banks are open every day. I have no problem with the ATM machines.
Right.
And then I also want to, and also, firstly, we introduced ourselves, but the platform is called Diaspora in Africa.
Do Africa.
Exactly. And we're African Americans,
living in Liberia.
We've been here for almost 6 years.
Exactly.
Right. And so we like to talk to, our brothers and sisters in the States, all over the world that may be thinking about, relocating to West Africa, what the experience is like, if we could answer any questions, help. Definitely the chat is open, definitely share, like, comment. Thank you so much for tapping in. But yeah, so even Sierra Leone, because he brought up Sierra Leone, there was a little bit of stuff going on, but there's a lot of African Americans in Sierra Leone.
Right.
I particularly know the brother and the sister that got connected to us through, I don't think it was Lisa. I forgot who connected us to them. But they're out there. They were out there during the whole election period. No problem. The thing about it is, where the violence is, if you're in a rally, this is where a lot of the times the violence comes, right? You got two, so Liberia, Sierra Leone is a little bit more complicated because it's two really, really strong parties. You know what I'm saying? Whereas Liberia got way more than two parties, right? Even though right now it's down to a runoff between Joseph Boakai, who is the former vice president under the Ellen Sirleaf Johnson presidency,
right,
and the current president, His Excellency George Manny Weah,
right,
who is with the CDC. So now that it's a runoff, you got the two parties, right?
Right.
But from what we hear in Sierra Leone, it's a two-party situation, period. And it's a situation where if you're at a rally, right, which I don't expect any African American to be at a rally for any political party. Like, you know, I wouldn't advise that in America, you know what I'm talking about?
Right.
Let alone in a foreign country, right? So that's one. So you're not going to most likely be a part. And if you are, then come on, that's what you're getting in. You know, you should be prepared for what you're getting into. But if you're just in Sierra Leone and elections are going on, most of the time where you have those what's they call
civil unrest,
it's those rallies,
right?
So the rallies, you know, it's one rally going on, and then you might have the other party come, and they might come with signs or something like that, and then a couple people get to fighting, right? And then the police come and they shut it down, and then they might add a curfew,
right,
so that it doesn't get crazy. So that's the maximum, but I believe that it gets blown out of proportion. That's what I think.
Well, you know, my thing is, which is true. Everything you said is right. I just want to be able to focus on the fact that being here for Liberia's election, you know, the far as violence is concerned, being from the United States, you know, and being programmed in the mind to because people leave.
Definitely.
Literally, people travel.
Definitely.
Because of the fact that you know, the election, there's a stigma that, you know, violence might break out. So to be here throughout the whole election and to the point that it's a runoff and there's no violence, you know what I'm saying? The election is going to take place next week. Between now and next week, I hope no violence do break out. But, you know, the fact that no violence has broken out is commendable. It's commendable on a whole nother level because the country is only 5 million in population, maybe a little bit more than 5 million. And that 5 million in population, the majority of the people here are the youth. So you have the majority being more youth driven. So, you know, the youth is going to be more, you know, extra and hype to exert energy.
That's a
good
point.
I mean? So the fact that you have the majority being the youth and that level of energy being ready to be exerted and it didn't go there. You know what I'm saying? I commend the people that's in control. I commend
Definitely
the people that's running this thing right here. It shows a level of maturity. It shows a level of control and it shows a level of democracy, which is really off the chain because of the fact that this is the type of stuff that's needed. This is the type of stuff that investors are looking at. You know what I mean? They want to see the stability of a country before coming in and investing. So like this is like, you know, this is like incredible, and it shows a lot of signs of progression for Liberia.
Exactly. You know, so again, everything really is as normal. You know, the stadium, like I know at one point that they were counting votes at the stadium. So that's a place, SKD, that's where we like work out. Right. Like, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people in the city, like, you know, you go over there, you jog. And of course, Liberia has gyms. Liberia has a bunch of gyms popping up. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Liberians are some fit people, man. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, you know, especially matter of fact, shoot, one of the big, what's that guy's influencers? What's the brother name?
NDO Champ.
Yeah, NDO Champ. Shouts out to NDO Champ.
NDO Champ.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Big,
doing big things,
bro. You know what I'm saying? You know, so Liberia, a lot of Liberians are actually physically fit. It's funny because coming from as a Black American, you know, we lived in Atlanta for a minute, right? It's funny. So coming from Atlanta, right? When we was in Atlanta from like you know, me, I was in Atlanta from 2002 to 2014.
Right.
Then tell you in 1998.
1998, that was when I first stepped foot on Atlanta.
And to about 2014 too.
Yeah.
And so people in Atlanta are a little bit more out of shape. So we moved up to New York.
Right.
And, you know, people in New York and New Jersey are kind of in shape. You know, because I think they do a little bit more walking.
A lot more walking.
Exactly. So it was a great transition because when we basically went from the South to New York.
Right.
Over into West Africa and, you know, into, you know, first the Gambia and Senegal. And then, you know, we wound up settling in Liberia and coming here. Like, it was like, okay, if you thought they was in shape in New York, they in shape 10 times that out here. You know what I'm talking about? And that's just off a natural, you know what I'm saying, because of, you know, different things, whether it's, you know, just a lot of movement, a lot of, you know, carrying, different items and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like people in shape. So either which way, SKD is a stadium where we usually work out. So I mean, for a little while, they were collecting votes there.
Right.
So like that was like the only thing that shut down. And then the day of the election day, there was a lot of businesses, but the hotels were still open. But it's a holiday, just like America. Talking about schools, everything closes during election day. But other than that, my man, it's been regular business, man.
Right.
And we wanted to kind of go live and talk about it so we could dispel of the mindset like, yo, you can't be in Liberia, you can't be in Africa when elections are taking place. It's dangerous, because that's not true. That's far from the truth.
Well, it's depending on the country that you're in. So definitely utilize your own measuring stick.
That's a fact.
Whatever your tool to measure. Definitely utilize that. Don't
live and talk about it so we could.
Don't sleep on anything. You know what I'm saying? Just definitely put yourself in a position where you could, measure, the tension. Coming from America as an African American, you want to be able. We know how to measure, when trouble's around. It's just that because that's just growing up in America. You have that sixth sense to smell when it's about to pop off or when the trouble is about to happen, and that's definitely a tool. And it's a gift, you follow what I'm saying, because of the fact of, just being able to anticipate. It's like a sixth sense. You're able to feel it. So definitely you want to be able to utilize that
100%.
Wherever you're at, whether it's Ghana, South Africa, Kenya, wherever you're at, when you traveling in Africa, you just want to be able to, you don't fall asleep totally because you're in the motherland, and because you're in the motherland you just feel like everything. No, utilize every sense that every street sense that you have, or every protective sense, whatever you call it. Utilize it. Do not fall asleep moving around. You know what I'm saying? Because wherever you're at, whether it's America or Caribbean or Africa or South America, if someone see that you sleeping, they're gonna take advantage of it. Now, one thing that I wanna say is the fact that business is still continued from the beginning of the election. Now the runoff, you know what I mean? Business has not been stagnated at all. Whereas, during COVID, of course, which was a world emergency, they're going to take advantage of it. Everything was shut down. You know what I mean? And when I say everything was shut down, I want to say like, everything was shut down. So like because the election was coming on happening, everything was still everything is still normal, meaning people going out making their ends meet from the time it starts, which is around 5 o'clock in the morning. You see people going out there, the market ladies, the bike boys, the kekes. Nothing has stopped, nothing has changed, and it's still going on, which is really impressive, because from what we've been told, when the election is happening, everything kind of slows down. Stores don't open. Market people don't go out. It's just like the actual opposite
not
happens.
True. Exactly.
Which is not true, because people been going out there like it's really felt really comfortable. There's a sense of normalcy that you feel out here that we've heard. Like right now, I have friends that I've met here in Liberia that's traveled. Right, because of the runoff. Okay, they want to come out. They want to come back after the runoff, to see how the climate is. And I'm saying it's a beautiful thing. So right now we're doing great in survival mode. And when I say we're doing great, we're doing really, really good. And I want to let the public know that this might be a good time to invest and do business while a lot of the stuff is going on, because I see a lot of opportunities where. Once everybody's here, it's kind of hard, to kind of be on the pulse of everything, because you might be lost in the shuffle in the line of things. That's true. Because of more people know people, and they might get more attention than you do because you're a foreigner. Whereas right now, because of where things are at, you might be able to take advantage of the fact that because you're the one with the money in hand, like what they call it, bird in the hand.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So like by us having the bird in the hand right now, it allows us to take advantage of opportunities. You know what I'm saying? So for the next election, that's something to keep in mind, that you might want to come around when everybody leave. That's the time you might want to come around and take advantage of it.
You know whose mindset that is? That's that Robert Kiyosaki mindset. You know what I'm talking about? Robert Kiyosaki, he says, when when everybody is buying, you should be selling. When everybody is selling, you should be buying. You know what I'm talking about? So when everybody is running, you should be coming. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I agree with that 100%. And it's good for us to talk about it, because if we as African Americans, or Black Americans, we really looking at, okay, we coming home, because there's obviously a lot already in Ghana that have made Ghana home. And we know that there's probably a lot more African Americans in Liberia. Right now, we have a group. It's about 10 of us, right, or more, right? And shouts out to everybody that's a part of that group.
Right.
But and if you're African American and you're living in Liberia and you want to connect, please inbox us.
Yeah.
Hit us in the comments. I'll make sure to reach out.
Right.
And put you a part of the group, because
definitely subscribe and ring the bell.
Yeah, definitely. Because we creating a community. Like, did we do Thanksgiving last year? Because it's about to be Thanksgiving. Did we do Thanksgiving together? What did we just do? We just did something all together. Oh, we did Juneteenth. We did Juneteenth. Yeah, I was one, because it felt like Thanksgiving, because it was stuffing.
Right.
It was, and it's like, if you've been, and I enjoy, let me tell you something. I enjoy the Liberian food. I enjoy the food, from the cassava. I'm talking about, my favorite is potato green. Then her favorite is, it's
palm butter.
You know what I mean?
Hey, palm butter's like ragu. You know what I'm saying? Palm butter's like ragu, but palm butter takes it. It takes the cake.
100%. I love me some palm butter too, to keep it 1,000. And but it was dope. It was for us to be able to come together because we've been here for 6 years, and then we got another sister. She been here for 15 years. Shouts out to Lisa. She been here for almost 15 years. So, it's good for us because we do all still have like common things, I'm talking about, from being in the States. And, those comfort foods is something we hadn't had in a while.
Right.
So it felt good. So we did Juneteenth. So that's the second year, though. We celebrated Juneteenth here in Liberia. We did it last year. 2022 was the first time. We did it with the embassy. We actually went to the church where the Liberian Constitution was signed. Right. Because, for those that don't know, Liberia was founded by African Americans.
Right.
Not found because somebody in the comments said, it was found. I'm not saying it was found. We know it was people here, but founded meaning just like you open a company, you found a company. The Constitution was the founding document that make, Liberia a country accepted amongst the League of Nations at that time.
That's what gave it a sovereignty.
Yeah, and later the United Nations. But either which way, the point is, Juneteenth, it was nice, man, because we got a chance to, shouts out to Dr. Kula, shouts out to Laura Pritchard. She's Reverend, exactly, our sister. She's a Reverend at Providence Baptist Church, which is the church where that document, that Constitution was actually signed.
Right.
So we actually celebrated Juneteenth that year. We had lunch. We had the U.S. ambassador was there, or the vice ambassador, because the ambassador was out the country.
Right.
And then Dr. Kula and Laura Pritchard did this play, reenacting what it was like
for the slaves.
Yeah, for to return and the whole process of even leaving.
Right.
Because you really only get the perspective of usually when you're learning, because a lot of people don't even know about Liberia.
Exactly,
you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And the founding principles Liberia is based on. Y'all know that. This is like Liberia is a hidden gem. You know what I'm talking about? For like real connoisseurs of freedom. Us Black Americans that been
Pan-Africans.
seeking. Yeah, Pan-Africanists. We've been seeking to get out of the grips of the U.S. and stuff like that, and the colonization mindset, the Jim Crow mindset, the apartheid mindset. This is a hidden gem for those that don't know, because it opened the door. The door was open.
The door of return.
This the real door of return. Matter of fact, definitely we got a book called The Journey Home. Door of Return, that's on Amazon. Yes. Especially if you're African American and you because we talk about a lot of different tips and tricks of how we were able to go ahead and operate remotely and get acclimated to the environment, and we do our best to share as much of that in the book.
Right.
But yeah, this is the real door of return.
Facts.
You
facts,
know,
facts,
so
facts.
not knocking any other, because anywhere you return, that's great coming back to the continent. Yet but based on the actual what really took place, Liberia is the place that really opened the door, and African Americans began to start doing that, you know, repatriate between here and Freetown, because Freetown had that, you know, that's why it's called Freetown. They also landed there on Chevreau Island, Sierra Leone, and then of course here in Liberia. So, you know, so like, yeah, so when we talk about, the elections and stuff, because this is what we got to get used to.
Right.
If you really
that's interesting. That's interesting, right? Well, first let me go back to what you were talking about about the real door of return, and having that feeling, because when we went to Senegal, to Gorée Island, you know, it actually, like for us, we was like, you know, it was a part of our tourist attractions. So we got on the boat, got on the ferry, and we went to this island. And then when we got on the island, you know, to see the slave castles, like, you know, people taking pictures, smiling, and as an African American being in on the continent for the first time, that was a real sad feeling. I could not bring myself to this happy place that I saw around me.
Yeah,
I'm like,
people because they didn't know no better. You know what I mean? You had other African travelers and tourists enjoying, you know, the island.
I couldn't bring myself to that happy place.
Either.
And as I was walking around, I mean, I saw the beauty in it. I saw the vendors. I saw the business in it. But then I could not bring myself to this happy place. But then, you know, so what we did was, I always like to talk about this. You know, Saqar, he was like, "Yo, man, take a picture of me walking through this door." And then, you know, when I took a picture of him walking through the door, I said, nah, me too. Let's find somebody else to take a picture of both of us walking through this door, because that moment right there meant so much. I'm like, yo,
100%.
Because like, you know, what's taught is the door of no return. So it's like to walk back through the door, you know what I mean, of no return. It's like that it speaks volumes. I mean, we got to hang it up on our home, so people can see when they ask what's that picture about. It's like, you know, that's the door of no return. We defied that moment. We defied that statement. So now, you know, speeding up the speeding up, you know what I mean, or fast forward, you know, now we come to Liberia. We didn't know. We didn't have a clue. You know, in the back of my mind, I'm like, well, there's some slave castle somewhere around here anyway. But I didn't even want to ask about it because I didn't want to feel that feeling. So it was just more so like, you don't ask about it, you don't hear about it, just leave it alone type thing. So what happened was, you know, as time was going by, we was talking to different peoples about what Liberia was and what Liberia consists of, and they started to talk about the richness of this country, how this country was founded in 1847, and how the free slaves came over here in 1822, and when they came over here, how they were embraced by the indigenous, and I was like, wow. Word?
For real.
I was like,
yo,
it's just like total opposite feeling.
Yeah, shouts out to our tour guide, Ambrose. Shouts out to Ambrose, man, because man, he took us. So before, because every year we do a Juneteenth trip, and shouts out to Jen. She was saying she so much wants to visit. So we got you. Don't worry. Just, definitely. You either come, hit us up when you get on ground, or if you want to take part in one of our trips, we do an annual trip during Juneteenth, just like we were talking about.
Absolutely.
And shouts out to the brother Mosi Main.
Okay,
definitely. I sent him my email. He said he'll be on ground soon, so let's definitely connect.
Yeah, let's connect, bro.
Yeah, because we also help. We consult, for different entities that are looking to, open businesses or be pointed into the right direction.
Absolutely.
With people with integrity, so that's we do our best to go ahead and help you
build
with that.
Investor confidence. That's our motto.
Exactly.
That's our motto.
BIC, building investor confidence. And so basically, where was I at? What was I going? I was just going down the line or something.
Well, we was talking about, the door coming to Liberia and the fact that
Ambrose.
Okay.
Oh man. So Ambrose, before we took the tourists, he took us to the J.J. Roberts Monument.
Okay.
And he was giving us the story,
That's right.
man.
That's right.
Of the Bassa tribe. He was able to name the chiefs. I'm sorry, I don't know the name of the chiefs, but during the 2022, because they just celebrated the bicentennial, right, in last year, and because that was 200 years from 1822 when the African Americans first returned. It was
2022.
Exactly. So it was a lot of news about it. It was like Washington Post did some articles on it, etc.
Right.
So he was and my point is the government also had a lot of material up, educating people about those indigenous chiefs that welcomed us when we came back home.
Right.
And so he started giving the story, man. He said like, let me go ahead and decline that, close my WhatsApp. So he came and he started telling us, he said, yeah, when they hit the ground, he said when those first African Americans, they got off the boat, they kissed the ground. They were like, I'm free. Like, you know what I'm talking about? Like, yo, listen, if you've been to the slave castles, I haven't been to the Ghana slave castles, but I know based on what I've seen on YouTube that they're not that much different from Gorée Island, which also has its own slave caves and stuff where in Senegal and Dakar, where they were holding us, right. So, and I know the sadness. I know that feeling.
Right.
I know that feeling. Like, yo, like anger.
Right.
Like I said, anger, and look, for our African brothers and sisters, right, that maybe been raised on the continent,
right.
You know what I'm saying? Just understand, like, we feel something when you talk about it, when we go to those places, because, we've been through a lot, and our ancestors been through a lot trying to break our mindset, trying to get us to come back home. Cause this has not been, obviously, cause now there's a wave. There's a wave
it's
now.
Definitely a wave.
Right. And
Afro beats done created that tsunami.
Facts. It's definitely a tsunami now.
Yeah.
And so 1822 is really like the beginning of that wave.
Yeah.
It never ended. You had, Marcus Garvey, you know what I'm talking about? You had Dr. York, you have him, he's still alive. These are different individuals that have been telling us as African Americans, like, yo, y'all need to get back to Africa.
Right.
Kwame Ture, Stokely Carmichael, he winds up, he was part of SNCC, which was, for those that don't know, SNCC was like right there with the Southern Christian Leadership Coalition and the Black Panthers.
Right.
Some of the SNCC people went on to become Black Panthers. You get what I'm talking about?
Right.
And so Stokely Carmichael wound up going to studying under Sekou Touré, because remember Sekou Touré, Kwame Nkrumah, a lot of them they was coming in back and forth into Harlem. It was this exchange that's been disconnected now.
That renaissance.
But there's a disconnect that Liberia need, any Liberians watching, man, like we need to really, really recultivate that, because you know what I'm saying, that's Liberia's got a lot of strength in that.
Right. And what's crazy about that, but what you're saying is that reconnection brings a level of resurgence of what Dr. Umar was talking about. I saw something with Dr. Umar, shouts out to him, and he was talking about how, a lot of Africans in America do not want to say they're Africans. They'll say they're Jamaican or Puerto Rican or any other title but African, because nothing that's associated to Africa is great. And because of that,
based on what they show in the media.
Of course, based on media. So because of that, they'll go to a subtitle that has, Jamaica. I'm Jamaican because of the attractions of Jamaica and what Jamaica's known for. Same thing with Puerto Rico. The same thing with the Native Americans. You'll say Native Americans. I'm Native American. I'm Geechee. I'm this, that, and the third, because of the fact of what associated with that, the greatness that come from that narrative. But he said the moment Africa start being recognized for its greatness, we're gonna attach to that, and once we attach to that, everybody's gonna leave those other titles and be like, I'm African first, which it should be. You follow what I'm saying? And then I was thinking, I was like, well, damn, the melanin, you know what I mean? The fact a gram of melanin is $380 some odd, which is more than gold. So so small things like that, once we start tapping into our greatness is going to just be able to change the narratives for the youth, because the youth don't understand how it feels to have that self-esteem. And I go back to that, when I say self-esteem, the way we felt, or the way I felt when Obama became president. When Obama became president, I mean, people will say Obama didn't do nothing for us. Well, the fact that he became president, that was the first thing that he did for us.
Right.
Because it put
100%.
It put one of us as a president, and then that visually, it became a level of self-esteem.
Yeah, that's 100%.
So when you start dealing with things of that nature,
and if I could add to that real quick, that also was a part. Think about everything, because everything grows.
Right, absolutely.
Nothing is like that.
Right,
everything
right.
grows,
Right.
right? So the interest in Africa was growing also during what? Obama's presidency.
Facts,
Why?
facts.
Because his father was who? Kenyan.
Right,
Come
right,
on
right,
now.
right.
So like, that's all part of where we are now. Outside of, that's why even when we talk about surviving elections, stay out of the way of all that political stuff. You know what I'm talking about? So like, because there's a bunch of political stuff you could say about Obama, what he did as a president, so on and so forth. But what we're talking about is how it promoted Africa.
Yeah, exactly. And then a level of self-esteem that takes you out of a mental that's saying that you're less than you're less than sub being, and you don't have to feel less than sub being. So as a being, you could feel great, and in feeling great, all you got to attach to all the great things that we've done. So being in Liberia is a beautiful thing. The food is great. The place is great.
Facts.
So much potential is here. When I say potential, right, a part of our program in building investor confidence is like, we're developers. So we've developed a lot of properties in the United States. We can help you develop properties here in Liberia, you know what I'm saying? And then we could show you the steps on how to go about doing it. We could do it together. We could manage it for you, or we could also go into other streams or sectors of business while you're away. So when we say building investor confidence, that covers all spectrums. Now, another thing that I want to touch on is coming to Africa during the rain season or during the dry season. I mean, rain to me is way better than snow.
Come on, to everybody, bro. Come on,
so
man.
If you think about,
you can't compare the two, man.
If you think about coming
the
to
two.
Liberia during June, that's the rain season.
Yeah, but
June, July. But I'm just saying,
because we had an excellent our trip. We had Ebony Magazine come along.
Right.
We had Travel and Leisure come along.
Right.
And listen, they enjoyed themselves.
Right.
And it barely rained, because
Exactly.
really the rain kicks up heavy.
Right.
August, September.
Right.
August, September is when it's maybe end of July. You're gonna get some rain, but it's not like that. It's not like that.
So I just wanted to touch on that because of the fact that somebody said, well, that's the rain season in June. Well, yeah, but like the rain season is way better than rain. I mean, it's way better than snow. You know what I'm saying?
But you could come to during the winter.
And that was my next point. You know, so if you don't want to come during the rain season, you could definitely come in the heat of the winter, which is February, Black History Month, which is another time we have a program because of Black History Month. Definitely tap in with us for that, because during Black History Month, we want to be able to utilize the month of Black History to bring people to a place that was founded by African Americans,
right?
Because that is also, greatness. You know, what I'm saying?
How can you
Black
have
excellence?
How can you have a Black History Month and not talk about Liberia? And so look, all of our brothers and sisters in the diaspora, we not complaining. We not the complainers. I'm gonna tell you how, because we here.
Right.
We said okay, because we definitely had people tell us, oh, you keep complaining and leave America. So we did. And I post that on my socials all the time to let people know. You remember? Because there was a lot of people I know. They was like, oh, you keep complaining. So I left. Now what? I'm out here now. You know what I'm talking about? And now look, the wave is over here. You know what I'm saying?
That's a fact. So
the point is, is that like, we got to be able to we got to get ready for this, by experiencing this time being during the elections to me is excellent, because guess what? It's not going to be the first one, or it's not. You know what I mean? It's not the first one, because we was here during the last one, right? No, we came right when the elections ended last time, right? But it definitely won't be our last one. So you want to have the experience being on ground while these different things are taking place, so you can know what it's like. You know what I'm talking about? You know, so you can know that, look, it's not what they claim it to be. And so what I also like to recommend, if you haven't been, so I was saying to the brothers and sisters, our brothers and sisters that were born on the mainland, right? So now it's not that we're complaining, but like, how do you think about it? How does a school system, how does the United States of America not have Liberian history as a part of Black history?
Right.
You get what I'm talking about? How do I go, or, you know, also Haitian culture, you know what I'm saying, or the revolution in Toussaint, the overture on them. These are things that we do not learn. You have to go, maybe now, you know what I'm saying? Definitely, I know Liberia still ain't being taught.
Right.
Maybe they talking about Haiti a little bit more, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because there's a lot of, you know, Haitians in the States that are, you know, pushing stuff like that. But I know they still not teaching. The average public school student is not learning. And then remember, now they got the whole thing about that the kids, they don't want the white kids to feel alienated because of, right? That's the whole Florida thing, right? And I think Texas, they pushing these laws where they're not even going to talk about slavery at all. You know what I'm talking about?
Right.
Because they saying that it make the white kids feel bad. Like, come on, what kind of, so when we talking, this is what we talking about. We like, yo, how did they not put this a part of our curriculum so that we did not learn it? Because guess what? It would have been boatloads of people and money coming here a long time ago, because the war been over for 20 years now, right? You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, Ebola happened and stuff, but there was a gap between 2001. I think Ebola came in 2013. That was 12 years that African Americans could have been being pushed to come back to Liberia. So either which way, the time is now. So what we doing is we sharing that information. Right. So Jen asked, she's asking, or him, I don't know if it's a male or female, is asking if the runoff is not over yet. The runoff is actually taking place on the 15th. That's Tuesday. Right. What is Tuesday? The 15th?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think
today's
so.
The 11th.
The 11th, yeah. So the 15th, yeah. So that's gonna be the actual final runoff, and then, you know, maybe 10 days maximum, they'll, you know, announce the presidency, and boom, you know, he'll get inaugurated in January, and then everything is.
The 15th is a Wednesday.
Yeah, everything will be back to normal. Now it's nice, man. It's hot. Today it's cool. You know, today, did it rain today?
Yeah, it rained earlier.
Okay, it's nice and cool. Like, I mean, let's say 77, something like that.
They go by Fahrenheit.
Yeah, they go by Fahrenheit.
Celsius.
And we use
Celsius. We use
Celsius.
We use the Fahrenheit.
I always get confused with it, right? But either which way, my phone is over there, so we're using the phone to broadcast. But, you know, I would say roughly about 78. So the funny thing is, it never really gets 100 degrees here. Like, the 90s feel hot,
right?
But it don't really be like 100, because, you know, Atlanta, New York,
Texas,
come on, they be 105, 110. You get what I'm talking about?
Right, Arizona.
So I be messing with my peoples back home. I be like, yo, it's hot as Atlanta out here. You know what I'm talking about? Because it's really summers in Atlanta and summers in New York get hotter than it is here. Now you get your hot days.
Right.
But it's just different, you know what I'm saying? But right now it's nice, man. About today, like I said, about 77, 78 degrees.
I mean, days like this, what you would do, just to keep it honest with you, right? When y'all do come over here, days like this, you just pull up on a coconut guy that's selling coconut and ask him, you know what I'm saying? You can have it two ways. You could say, can I have it with some water? Which is, it's full of water, or can I have it with some food?
I love it.
And
with
that means
food.
After you drink it, right, then you eat the food, which is the meat of the coconut. And I'm talking about, it's so refreshing. I mean, it's like, listen, here in Liberia, to be honest, you have to look for sugar. You have to look for sugar.
Facts.
Because everything is so organic, right? You have to look for table sugar to add on to what you're drinking and things of that nature. You have to look for it.
Shouts out to Ala Lagoon. the hotel that we like to frequent. I remember. You remember
that was our first stop.
Yeah, Ahhah
Lagoon.
Yeah, I still love going there. You know, it's Liberian owned.
Yes.
Right on the lagoon. It's a lagoon, and then it's a strip of beach, and then it's the Atlantic Ocean.
And you know what? You know what's interesting about that story right there?
But if I can, real quick, what I was gonna say about Ahhah Lagoon is, speaking about the sugar thing, is that I don't know if you remember the lady. She used to always see me putting the sugar in my tea. She used to be like, "Yo, you better chill with that." Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you better. So, I mean, yes, you know, you got people that catch diabetes here, but it's just like I said, like he said, it's different. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's different. Like, you know, again, you gotta really seek it. Like, you gotta seek it. You gotta be like, oh, okay, I'm gonna put a whole lot of sugar in my tea or my coffee. Right. You know what I'm saying? Or I'm gonna go out and buy the Coca-Cola and so on and so forth. But other than that, like, it's the fruits. Like, you just go outside. It's always somebody out there selling fruits. It's a multitude of fruit stands. It's a multitude of markets where you could be getting, you know, everything from mango, which they call plum, to papaya, which they call pawpaw, right? To the watermelon. I don't know what they call watermelon. I think they maybe just melon.
It's melon.
Yeah, they go watermelon, or they call it melon. You know what I'm saying? All of it is here, man. So, like, it's so much easier to actually, I think, stay on track with your diet here.
Right.
But now, if you want to be a vegan, that might be I'm gonna be 100. Being a vegan in Liberia is a little bit complicated. You know, shouts out to the Smith family, right? That's the Smith family.
Okay.
Right? That's the people that own Myrtle Beach, right?
Oh yeah, the Smith family.
Yeah, you remember the sister? She's a vegan.
Okay.
So she goes to Royal Hotel.
Okay.
She goes to Royal Hotel, and they prepare her like a specific vegan plate. You know what I'm saying? So it is a little bit more complicated to be a vegan here, because a lot of dishes it can be done. You know what I'm saying? Because it's easy to get ahead and hire a chef. It's, you know what I'm saying? And it's easy to tell the restaurant that you frequent, hey, this is how I want, this is what I want. They're gonna prepare it for you, you know. But if you eating at like different people's houses, everything is cooked with some type of chicken or fish. Right. You know what I'm talking about? Right. Everything is so you gotta, you know, so that's a little bit, I would say, about a little bit more of, and again, Liberia, check it out. Check it out. Because you remember we were talking about Stone Mountain. I was supposed to bring this up on the Debatable podcast, on another podcast we do. Remember I said I was going to talk about Stone Mountain? Right. And you know how it had zero crime, you know what I'm talking about? Right. And that's something else like that we talked about in the book, right? And you can check our book out. It's called The Journey Home, Door of Return. Yo, homicides in West Africa, you know what I'm talking about, is like, again, okay, so is the chances of you dying from a homicide in Liberia or in West Africa as a black man, it's the same as a white man dying from a homicide in America. You get what I'm talking about? Because, you know, in America, we 8 more times likely to get killed by violence. Right. As a black male, we 8 more times more likely to get killed in America than the Caucasian. Right. The statistics here are like being a Caucasian in America. Mm-hmm. That's how safe you are in Liberia. And I was bringing that up because I was watching this documentary on Stone Mountain and how these gangs came into Stone Mountain and started up in the Stone Mountain is in the state of Georgia. Started up in the crime rate, right, and the murder rate and stuff like that. And guess what? They said when they started talking about Atlanta before the Olympics, they called it a third world country. Crazy. They called it. He said this is how he broke it down. He said, "Yo, Atlanta was like a third world country." You know what I'm talking about? So because this is what we were trying to tell people. So when we talk about, you know, when I was saying vegan, it might be a little hard for you to. It's not a whole lot of vegan restaurants, even though there are some smoothie businesses that are popular. They deliver. They have multiple locations. I forgot the sister's name that owns, or the name of that one. I think we interviewed her on this channel, right? But it's growing. So coming into Liberia now is like coming into Atlanta right before the Olympics, right? Isn't that what we usually say?
I mean, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I definitely want to concur to that because it's true. I remember when I first got to Atlanta in '98, and I want to go back to Ahhah Lagoon about the entrepreneurship of Ahhah Lagoon. But to finish this thought right here, yeah, when in Atlanta, in '98, you will go to certain parts of Atlanta where there's a sidewalk, and then you will be in a place where it's like, the business is bustling, the Model T line is there, the train system is there, the bus is there, you know what I'm saying? And it's modest. It's not like robust. You follow what I'm saying? When I say modest, I mean the train will take you from one part of the city to another part of the city, but the bus itself does not look like how it look right now, where you had TVs in it, you know what I'm saying, air conditions. A lot of buses didn't have no air condition, you follow what I'm saying, and TVs in it and things of that nature. So now what would happen is when you get to the West End and you're trying to get to Cascade, there is no bus that connects from, or maybe it was, or it probably lagged. But I remember that there was a time that there was no bus that would take you from West End to Cascade, Stop and Shop or Publix, that area right there where the golfing is at, for those that know, right? So you will be walking on that strip, and then it'll go from sidewalk to no sidewalk. So now you're walking on the street and the cars are driving right past. For those that know. There was another area in Lithonia, you know what I'm saying, that you'll be on Covington Highway. And then while you're on Covington Highway, you'll go from sidewalk to no sidewalk. Mm-hmm. So now while you're walking on the street, you have to hope that the car is
definitely.
You know what I'm talking about?
So I remember because I lived in Lithonia.
So what happened is that particular feeling, it made you feel like, yo, this is like a third world country. Whether you never been to a third world country before, you know what I'm saying, but it made you feel like you was traveling through a place that you're just not unfamiliar with. So now, when it comes to so I agree when it comes to this whole feeling of what they saying about third world, because being here in what's a quote unquote third world country, they got places that got sidewalks, and then they got places that don't have sidewalks,
right?
And that's the distinct difference, because you got cars out here, the people are dressed fashionable, mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? What's considered current, mm-hmm. as far as clothes is concerned. So you might meet somebody on a sidewalk, and they dress just as fly, or the swag, or they got the drip, like in the States, but there's no sidewalk. You're on the side of a street, and hopefully both of y'all are talking, and you hope that the car don't come too close to y'all. So that third world concept is 110% emphatically correct.
Exactly.
Now,
go ahead.
Going back to
Ala Lagoon,
I wanted to touch on the whole thought of Gus. Shouts out to Gus. Gus is an entrepreneur,
Liberian,
right? That owns the Ala Lagoon. And what happens is, the gentleman is like, such a futuristic in mind. He's such futuristic in mind that it makes you really think. It makes you really think about how business can take place here. Why? Because when we first got here 5 years ago, 5 to 6 years ago, the first thing that we noticed was that was like the first landing place, which was at a lagoon, and he had like maybe 2 or 3 structures, three structures, and out of the 3 structures that he had, it was a nice hotel. So my point is, it wasn't 5-star, but it was definitely 3 to 4.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it made you feel comfortable, and then you had the lagoon there and things of that nature. So now, as years went by, it went from 3 to maybe 4 or maybe 5 structures there now. So it grew from 3 to 5. I want to say 6 structures there, right, with a pool. Uh-huh. You follow what I'm saying? With the pool. So like,
when he dropped the pool, he definitely took it to the next level, because everybody started, all the young people started coming to the location, man. I really love it.
My point is, his entrepreneurship, it gives you the if you're an entrepreneur at heart, it gives you the thrive. It gives you that mindset, like, yo, I could do this too, because he came from the States. you know what I'm saying, and decided to stay in Liberia and it went from one structure, right? By the time we met him, it was two structures, the main building and then the back building, and then in the front. So it went from his one structure to three structures, and as time went by, it went from three structures to six structures,
right,
with a pool.
Yeah.
You follow what I'm saying? And we was just there.
And he's not even done. I mean, it's the space. I wish I could share some photos next time.
Yeah.
But it goes out on one place. Got a bridge that goes out onto the lagoon. So we don't know what he about to do with that. I have a feeling he gonna do a building. You know what I'm saying? And right in the lagoon. That's gonna be crazy.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, to see that as an entrepreneur, it's like, yo, I could do this.
My man, you could.
I could come over. I could leave from America.
Yeah, you could do anything you want here.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that goes for the diaspora. The people that's Liberian, been living in America for 20, 30, 40, 50 years. You could take that retire money, that IRA, that 401k, that, you know what I mean, and you could invest that type of money here and create that type of opportunity that the brother Gus did, because he did it. We watched him develop it. We wasn't there when he first got the place, but we watched him develop it, and the development of that he did is just epic. Epic. So shouts out to him. And then right next door is Calabash. You know what I mean? The brother,
fire.
The brother,
another spot.
Another entrepreneur.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think he was in Texas in America, and then he left Texas from America and then came to Liberia and opened up this spot. Like, it's like, it's really upper echelon. It makes you feel really, really nice. You know what I'm saying? You're outside, but you're inside because you got the cover over. Certain parts of it is, you're covered. You know what I'm saying? But it's still open. And it's like the way they did that is really nice. You know what I'm saying? So my point is, for entrepreneurs, if you got that entrepreneur mindset, you could definitely come here and do the same thing that these brothers are doing here. You know what I mean?
100%. Listen, definitely tap in, share. If you can, share, like, comment, let us know what you think. Yo, somebody, the brother Marcy Main, he was like, he said sidewalks in Southwest Atlanta is a luxury. So it's like, yo, if you coming from the South, man, it's nothing.
That's what's up.
It's no difference, man. Like,
That's
I remember, because we used to frequent, what's that spot? Think about Florence. What about Florence? South Carolina. Come on, bro. You start going Florence and you start going even further. What's that one where Somerton? Yeah. Because you got Sumter, South Carolina, and then you got Somerton. Yo, it's definitely like Bond County. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's definitely Africa. So then, shouts out to the brother. It's another brother, Tayo, I think his name. He's a travel blogger.
Okay.
And Nigerian. He just started showing. Remember I was telling you, he did he said the side of Africa that they don't show you. Right, you know what I'm talking about? And he started showing, the homeless people,
the side of America that don't show you.
which is dope, because most Africans, when I start talking about the homelessness and the crime, most Africans on the continent that have not been to America, they don't even comprehend it. They like, what?
Right.
Like, because they barely believe me. Like, I'm talking about, I gotta like really be like, yo, I'm telling you, like, this is the facts.
Right.
Again, that's a part of America that you don't see. You know what I'm talking about?
Exactly.
But and again, all of that can be developed,
right.
And again, those are opportunities. So
like Skid Row in California, like people don't have
I think that's where he was going live from. This guy,
because you think about California, you think about Hollywood, but there's a whole city of homeless folks called Skid Row.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So, so look, we appreciate y'all
definitely
tapping in. We just wanted to share our experience being here during the elections. To let y'all know there's no gunfire.
It's safe.
It's not happening.
It's safe.
We're alive and well
in Liberia.
Which is, Liberia. They try to make Liberia like it's the worst of the worst.
Nah, man.
We're perfectly safe.
We're good, oh.
We're good, oh. So
I beg you, yeah.
Come on and experience it, and come and enjoy yourself, as they say. feel free, as they
man.
say.
You're welcome.
Whereas
man.
you won't feel that where you are, unfortunately. But yeah, and then like what we do, we try to help people, we try to consult people on, different things that they could put in position in regards to like, when it comes to remote work, when it comes to establishing your businesses here. So definitely tap in, hit the like button, comment, let us know how you feel,
subscribe,
and
tell a friend, 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 tell a friend.
The love of liberty is what brought us here.
Facts.
And the love of liberty is what made people never leave, the ones that was already here.
Facts,
you know what I'm talking about?
facts,
That's it, man. We'll see y'all soon, okay?
All right.
All right. Peace.
Do Africa.
Do Africa, y'all. Do Africa.